Successful people commit first and then they figure it out. And I'm trying to talk myself out of it because here's what I realized. As you approach opportunity, opposition escalates. You will try to talk yourself out of your dreams. You will try to talk yourself out of your own destiny. Sometimes your actions weren't congruent with the thing that you said that you wanted. So check this out. I go to this conference and I'm sitting in the room and I had left my corporate job and I'm looking for this opportunity. And so this gentleman comes out on the stage. And when he's on the stage, this guy is so captivating, he is so compelling, and I'm sitting there and I'm watching how the audience is hanging on his every word. And I'm saying, man, I gotta be able to communicate like that. And so I'm sitting there and I'm watching him, and I see him, and he starts making his way off the stage. And so I see if I could trap him, and I come around the corner, and as soon as I see him, I say, excuse me, sir. My name's Enriquez, sir. I left my corporate job not too long ago, sir. I would love to become a speaker like you, sir. I would love to learn. He said, nice to meet you, young man. He said, go to the back of the room. You can speak to Star Babatune. She is over my programs. I said, where is she, sir? He said, she's right over there. And so I made my way over to Star Babatune. And so I walk over to Star Babatune. I said, yeah, I just spoke to him. He said, you guys have a coaching program. Y'all got something. What do I need to do? And so she handed me this 3-page packet. And I'm reading the packet. And when I'm reading it, it says, you're going to learn how to be a speaker. You're going to be a communicator. You're going to go ahead and grow a business. I'm like, yes, yes, and yes. And she said, I'm going to call you tomorrow. Make sure you pick up the phone. I'm like, call me. I'm ready. And later on when I get home, I started picking up the packet. And as I'm going through the packet, I'm reading all the things that I'm supposed to be getting in this program. Then I flip to the final page. I'm like, oh, somebody made a typo up in this piece. They done added an extra 0 on this thing. There's a typo on this. And the reason why is because when I'm looking at this tuition, it says 30, 0, 0, 0. TSP, how much is that? This is 15 years ago. $30,000 is no big deal right now in the mastermind. This is 15 years ago. And I'm thinking to myself like, oh. So Star Babatune does what she was supposed to do. And so she calls me the next day. And she calls me in the morning. Did I pick up the phone? Y'all know I ain't pick up that phone. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Judge yourself. I'm not going to say what I would normally say, but judge yourself. So she calls me again in the afternoon. Did I pick up the phone? Nah, y'all know I ain't pick up that phone. You know what? She called me again in the evening. This time when she calls me in the evening, I take out my phone and I put do not answer. Don't act like you've never done that before. And so I'm thinking like, phew, I done dodged a bullet. And here's the crazy thing. About 2 weeks go by, and I end up getting a phone call from a number I don't recognize, and I just haphazardly pick up the phone. And when I pick up the phone, I'm like, hello? And on the other end I hear, what's going on, young man? This is Leslie Calvin Brown, Maybe Brown's baby boy, pride and joy. I'm like, who? Les Brown? Now, I don't think I told you this earlier, but the gentleman who was in the front of the room was Les Brown. For those of you who don't know who Les Brown is, he's one of the top 5 speakers on the planet. He's received the highest award by the National Speaker Association, the highest award by Toastmasters International. For a single speech, he got paid $450,000, and he has generated over $62 million from speaking on the stage. That Les Brown. And so Les says, hey, young man, I thought you said you wanted to become a speaker. I said, I do, sir. He said, I thought you said you wanted to build a business. I said, I do, sir. He said, but what happened? TSP, I got the stutter. But the prize. He said, young man, tell me again what you told me when I got off the stage. I told you I left my corporate job, sir. I said I wanted to become a speaker. So I said I wanted to impact lives. I said I wanted to build a 6-figure business and hopefully eventually build a 7-figure business. He said, okay, young man, well, what kind of investments have you made? I said, sir, I have all your tapes. I bought a couple ebooks. I've been watching videos periodically. He said, okay, well, who's your coach? What mastermind program are you in? Who's teaching you these skills? I said, I don't have one, sir. And I want you to write this down. My buddy Trevor Otts, he said, note takers are money makers. Say it with me, TSP. Note takers are what? Money makers. And in so many words, here's what he would say. He said, you got to invest at the level in which you expect results. You see, here's what I realized. I had these big dreams, these big goals, these big expectations. But if you looked at my bank account, if you looked at my actions, I was totally incongruent. Now, who's willing to be honest? How many of y'all ever had some big goals, big dreams, big expectations? Raise your hands up high, please. Should be everybody in the room. But how many of you, if you're honest with yourself, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure it out, and then after I figure it out, then I'll come back and I'll commit to this program. And he started to laugh. I said, Mr. Brown, did I say something funny? He said, no, young man. He said, let me tell you the difference between successful people and non-successful people. He said, non-successful people said that they're going to figure it out before they commit. And then they spend a week trying to figure it out, a month trying to figure it out, a year trying to figure it out, and they never commit. He said, successful people commit first, and then they figure it out. How many of you got some things you've been trying to figure out? And you've been busy trying to make sure you knew how to put the book together, how to launch the funnel, how to go ahead and be able to scale and grow your business. And you've been busy trying to figure it out. And because of that, you haven't fully committed. Anybody other than me in the room has ever done that? Raise your hands up high. If somebody got their hand down, say, stop lying, stop lying, stop lying, stop lying, stop lying, stop lying. And so I'm listening. I'm like, man, I don't know what else to say. So here's what I figure I'd do. I said, I'm going to kill him with some flattery. I said, Mr. Brown, sir, I know you're worth every bit of $30,000. I mean, you're amazing, sir. I've been playing your tape, sir. I know how amazing you are. He said, yo, whoa, young man. He said, you're not investing in Les Brown. You're investing in yourself. He said, let me help you to understand something. He said, Tony Robbins was interviewing Mr. Buffett, one of the richest men on the planet. And he said, Mr. Buffett, you've invested in real estate. You've invested in the stock market. You've invested in businesses. And he said, Mr. Buffett, out of all of the investments that you have made, what is the best investment that you have ever made? What do y'all think Mr. Buffett said? Tap yourself, say myself, myself. Mr. Buffett said the best investment he's ever made was the investment in himself. And so I had no other choice. I realized that I was riddled with excuses. And I said, I'm in. I remember driving my car, and I was sitting in the parking lot at Bank Atlantic, and I'm trying to negotiate with myself. And I'm trying to talk myself out of it, because here's what I realized. As you approach opportunity, opposition escalates. You will try to talk yourself out of your dreams. You will try to talk yourself out of your own destiny. I'm in the car negotiating. And then finally I go inside and I send off that $10,000 deposit. But y'all know what happened after I sent that $10,000 deposit off? I discovered something different. My whole posture changed. I want y'all to write this down. The more you pay, the more you pay attention. All of a sudden now, and I was like, oh, Mr. Brown, you got my $10,000. What I need to do, you're going to teach me how to become a speaker. I need to learn something, because now I had some skin in the game. And so now I'm starting to put in the work. I'm going to speak at elementary schools and middle schools and eventually high schools. I start getting the opportunity to get paid by Chamber of Commerce. I started out speaking for free, then they're paying me $500 and $1,000 and $5,000. And then over time, I get to $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $25,000 a speech. And then I become a six-figure speaker. This is your time to give me a round of applause. Give me some round of applause. And I'm like, yes, I've accomplished the goal. And then, not too long later, I become a multiple six-figure speaker, making over $200,000. But then I got stuck. I was getting all this praise and recognition. But what people didn't realize was that every year, I was saying, this is going to be the year I'm going to take it to the next level. This is going to be the year that it changes for me. And every single year, I'd kick off the year. I'd have a good month, have a not so good month. I'd have a good month. I'd have a not so good month. And by the end of the year, I ended just about exactly where I was the previous year. Has that happened to anybody else in the room other than me? Raise your hands up high. Say me, if this has ever happened to you. And so the following year, same thing. I said, this is going to be the year. I'm about to take things to the next level. I'm going to at least get to $500,000. And once again, I start off the year, I'd have a good month, and then a what? A not so good month. Then I have a what? A good month, and then a not so good month. And at the end, I ended up just about at the exact same place. TSP, I did that for 5 years. Stuck, getting all the praise and trying to figure out why I can't get to the next level. But see, here's the thing. I was at least smart enough to get into rooms like this. And so I end up going to this other conference, and I'm sitting in the room, and this conference has nothing to do with the speaking business. This is a conference about publishing books. And in the final hour of the conference, there's a guy sitting behind me that asked a question that probably everybody else wanted to ask, but nobody else was brave enough to ask. He raised his hand up high, and when he got called on, the gentleman in the front of the room, a gentleman by the name of Jerry Robert, had basically built a business that generated over $200 million. And he had shared his story, how he started off with poverty. And so the gentleman said, listen, I appreciate the fact you're teaching us how to publish our books, but what I want to know is how does somebody who started off in poverty go from poverty to having a company that generates over $200 million? And Mr. Frost said, is anybody interested in me sharing this? And what do you think all of us did? Raise your hands up high. And then he ended up sharing something that completely changed my life. Now, TSP, when I say everything changed, I need you to understand something. This is what I mean when I say everything changed. When I was sitting in that room, at that moment that I was sitting in the room, at that moment, I had a business that was making just about $200,000, and I was stuck at that point. As soon as this guy broke things down, the following year, as a result of implementing what he shared from that stage, here's the crazy thing. My income went from $200,000 to $400,000. In 1 year, I doubled my income. Is that good? Yes or yes? I continued to lean into the principles and the things that he was sharing, and now, the following year, I go from $400,000 to $800,000. Is that good? Yes or yes? The next year, I stepped away from the principles, had a flat year, and then I had to remember what this guy showed me. And in the following year, I go from $800,000 to $1.2 million. And every single time my business has expanded, it's because I leaned into the principles. And every time my business contracted, it's because I got away from the principles. Everybody with me on that? Yes or yes? So I got a question for you. Would you be interested in me sharing with you what this gentleman shared with me, who built a business that was worth over $200 million? Are you interested? If y'all got to convince me. You interested? Yes or yes? If you're in, raise your hand. Say, I'm in. I'm in. All right. Now, here's the housekeeping rules. Number one, if you want me to share this with you, number one, it's going to require full participation. What's it going to require? What's it going to require? Number two, I might have to step on your toes. But it's okay if I step on your toes if I do it with love. Do me a favor. If you see anybody with open toe shoes, say, baby, pull your toes back a little bit. Pull your toes back. Just tell them, pull your toes back. Just tell them, pull your toes back. But I got your permission to step on your toes if I do it with love. Is that okay? Say yes, Andy. Okay, all right. I got permission to step on your toes. Number three, this will determine whether I leave the stage now or I stay on stage. It's going to take away every excuse you have. If I share this with you, whether you have a business that is making less than six figures, whether you have a multiple six-figure business, whether you have a seven-figure business, whether you have an eight-figure business, it is going to rob you of every excuse that you have that may be keeping you from getting to your next level. Is it still okay for me to share this with you, or should I go ahead and leave right now? Can I still share it with you? Yes or yes? You understand that after this, excuses are gone. Everybody understand that? Yes or yes? All right. All right. Give yourselves a round of applause. Give yourselves a round of applause. So I said full participation. So I'm going to draw something on the board, and I'm going to ask you a question. I want everybody to tell me what this is, okay? I'm going to draw something on the board. All right. Yep. All right. Matter of fact, let me tap this, make it a little bit, that thing a little thick, right? All right. So you have this in your car. It is responsible for telling you the speed that you're going. What do we refer to this as? What is it called? A speedometer. Now, there is a cool feature that's in the car that we got a lot of old school in here have used. Maybe not all the new school have used it, but when you used to go on them long road trips and you wanted to chill out and you didn't want to have to focus so much, you sort of set it and forget it. What was that called? What's it called? Cruise control, baby. Y'all know that cruise control setting. It's set it and forget it. And the purpose of cruise control was so that you can maintain a specific speed. Now, here's the thing you may or may not realize is everybody in the room, regardless if your business is doing less than six figures, multiple six figures, seven figures, eight figures, you have a cruise control setting. Everybody get that? Yes or yes? This cruise control setting that we have, hypothetically, let's say we all are at a place that is 75, and the reason why I say 75 is because for all of us, there is room for growth. Everybody understand that? Yes or yes? This cruise control setting has a name, and the name of that cruise control setting is what I refer to as your identity. Everybody say identity. Identity. Another name for this 75 is what I like to refer to as home. You know, home be feeling safe and good. So here's the crazy and interesting thing. You will do everything that you can to maintain your identity, including self-sabotaging yourself. Allow me to explain. If you are going at a 75 in your life and something starts to happen in your business, in your life, and you get results that exceed your identity, what do you think you will start doing without even realizing it? Everybody do it with me. You will slow it down. Do it with me. You think I'm the only one going to look crazy up here? Everybody with me. On three. You will slow it down. I said full participation in the back. Everybody with me. You will slow it down. You will find a way to slow it down. And because you're intelligent and stuff, you will find a sexy excuse as to why you slowed it down. You understand my Facebook ads weren't working. You know, my mom, she needed some extra help. I had some things that were going on. You know, that was the week where we were moving out the house. You will find a way to be able to create and make an excuse for slowing down things. Have you ever seen somebody lose weight only to see them 7 months later and they found all the weight again? Have you ever seen that? Yes or yes? Right? I know none of y'all ever done that, but you know somebody, right? You know somebody, right? Now, here's the crazy thing. The reason why is because externally they produced the result, but internally they didn't change their cruise control setting. We're so busy trying to change what's on the outside when the thing we need to change and shift is our identity. You get that? Now, here's the good thing. This also works in your favor. If something were to happen and you start getting results that are closer to a 50, guess what you will also start doing? Speed it up. You be like, girl, my money looking funny. Who I need to call? All right, I need to do a couple launches. I need to make some phone calls. What sales calls do I need to make? Anybody ever done that before? Raise your hand, yes or yes. Right? You will find a way to always get back to home because home is your identity. Does everybody understand that, yes or yes? Does anybody want to know how you move your identity from a 75 to a 100? If you want to know, raise your hand. Say me, 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 me. All right. So I want to share something with you that I refer to as the identity shift system. What is it called? This is the identity shift system. There are 4 steps to be able to create a shift and a change in your identity. Step number 1, you already know. You know what that is? It's awareness. You already know more than 92% of people. At the beginning of each year, people used to do something called set New Year's resolutions. If you follow those people throughout the course of the year, 92% of them have failed to implement their New Year's resolutions. As a matter of fact, within the month of February, 80% have already fulfilled their New Year's resolutions. And the reason why is because they're chasing everything externally. However, what they fail to realize is if they don't shift their identity, they will always find a way to self-regulate. Does that make sense to everybody, yes or yes? So you already know more than 98% of people because you're at least aware so that you can catch yourself when you are slowing it down. Does that make sense to everybody, yes or yes? So step number 1 in the identity shift system, and I want you to write this down because note takers are what? Note takers are what? Note takers are money makers. Number 1, you got to have a level of awareness. Now we know how sneaky identity is. And we say, identity, I know what you're doing. You're trying to keep me at status quo. You're trying to keep me from elevating. So now when you want to be able to create a shift in your identity, the second thing that you got to be willing to do is very important here. Step number 2 is this. You got to change your associations. When you want to change your identity, you got to change your associations. Watch this. Watch this. Allow me to explain. If you are a 75, and by the way, you could be a 75 whether you have 6-figure business, 7-figure business, 8-figure business, because there's always another level. Everybody get me on that, yes or yes? If you are operating at a 75 and you surround yourself with 100 here, you got 100 here, you got 100 here, and then you got 100 here, I tell you one thing, guess what? You are no longer a what? You're no longer a 75. Now, you may not be 100 right away, but I promise you, there is no way that you're going to be hanging out with hundreds and that you're going to maintain and continue to be a 75. Are you picking up what I'm dropping, yes or yes? So check this out. Me and Coach Kaz, we leave church, and then we go to this restaurant that we like to eat at. And so we sit down at this table, we about to get something to eat, and then we see a group of cyclists that pull up on their bicycles. Now, when I say cyclists, make sure you understand. These are people who go and ride their bike for 10 miles for fun. For fun. And so when they pull up at the restaurant, they got on spandex. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like spandex all through, everything tight. Everything tight. Now, Coach Kaz will say my jeans tight, but I don't think they tight. But everything is tight, okay? Everything's tight. Now, not only is their clothes tight, but they got these helmets on there, aerodynamic helmets. They got these glasses to protect. I mean, they ride their bike so long, so fast, that they got to protect their eyes. No one should be riding their bike that fast. And so when they get off the bikes, this is what you hear. Now, some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about Because real cyclists, at the bottom of their sneakers is metal, and their sneakers lock into the bicycle so they become one with the bike. And so I'm sitting there and I'm being nosy. I said, Kaz, girl, I bet you them bikes expensive. And she's like, stop being nosy. And so I do one of these. I slide the cell phone under my arm, and I'm taking pictures of the people bike, y'all. Don't judge me, don't judge me. I'm taking pictures of their bike like this, chop, 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 chop. And I'm going on Google. And the first bike I look up, I'm like, oh, girl, that bike costs $6,900, Coach Kaz. And Coach Kaz at first ignored me. She like, boy, you lying, let me see. And Coach Kaz looking at my phone. And then I start Googling the other bike. I look at the other bike, I'm like, girl, that bike costs $8,900 for a bicycle. I was like, you could buy a used car for $8,900. And I'm like, that's crazy. And Coach Kaz said, stay out them folks' business. But let me see your phone. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's crazy. Now, about 15 minutes later, we see another guy that's coming into the restaurant. Now, when he's about to come in the restaurant, he got on some loose basketball shorts. He got on a white T-shirt. And he got a bike that came out of Walmart. And how do I know? Because he had the same bike that I got that I paid $120 for. I recognize a Walmart bike. That's where I get my bicycles from. And so he went in and put the bike down. I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then we like, well, where is he going? And then we see him walking towards the other table. I'm looking at Coach Kaz. I said, I know he ain't with them folks over there. He walked over to sit at the table with them, and I'm like, this is crazy. And now I'm really listening. I'm like, is he lost? Is he looking for where to go? What's going on? What's happening here? What's happening? So I'm listening in to the conversation. And I'm listening. What are they talking about? And they start giving us, they're like, hey, listen, so we normally hit the road about 5 a.m. Okay, we go for about a 5-mile run, for a 5-mile bike ride. Come here, have a little breakfast, and we do another 5 miles for fun, right? It's like, hey, this is where we buy our stuff. This is where you get your bicycle from and everything. And I'm sitting there listening, and here's all I can think in my mind. How many of y'all know that dude only got 1 or 2 options if he's going to hang out with them folks? Either he needs to level up or he needs to level out. Everybody understand that? Yes or yes? How many of y'all know that if that dude chooses to stay in close proximity with them, that later on he gonna have all kind of spandex on? Y'all understand that, right? He gonna have one of them helmets and he gonna be walking around. Why? The power of association. TSP, we gotta stop being the smartest one in the group. Dennis Kimbrough said, if you're the smartest one in your group, you need a new group. Some of y'all been hanging out with people, and unfortunately, you are the fish. You're the big fish in the pond. So I got a trick question for you. Really, really important. I need you to answer this really quickly. Let me ask you a question. Who do 75s love to hang out with? Somebody over there says 75. 75s do not like to hang out with 75s. You know who they like to hang out with? They like to hang out with 50s, because 50s make you think you got it going on. You got your own house. You got your own car. You got your you got your own car, right? So, listen, they're like, girl, you got it going on. You got your own house. You got your own car. Girl, you got a 6-figure business. Girl, you doing your thing. You doing too much. Take it easy. You don't have to do all that, girl. You killing the game. Man, you're doing too much. So we love the 75s surround themselves with 50s, because 50s will go ahead and pretty much make you feel like you got it going on. But you know who 75s avoid? They avoid hanging out with them 100s. Let me tell you why. 100s hold the mirror up, and the 100s remind them of what's possible. 100s rob them of all their excuses. 100s make them realize that they're capable of more. So we're going to call it for what it is. When you're trying to figure out how does that show up in my life, let me tell you what it looks like. If you're making $0 to about $75,000, It's when you're hanging out in the free Facebook group and you are doing what I like to call feasting on free. Me and my buddies used to hit the food court. In high school, we would go around the food court and get all the samples and try to fill our belly. But what we didn't realize is we were filling on blank calories because they never gave out the top shelf items. You had to put money out to get you a platter that had all the essential things that you needed. So we felt full, but we were improperly nourished. You picking up what I'm dropping, yes or yes? So instead of hanging out in the free and trying to feast on free, at a minimum, somebody who's doing that should at least be inside of Propel, because at least you're going to get the things that you need. But can we call it for what it is? It's a person who's got the six-figure business and they know they're supposed to be in the mastermind and they're hanging out in Propel because they can hide out and not have any accountability. You know what that looks like? You got a 7-figure business. And you know you're supposed to be in the collaborative. But you're making sure you stay in the mastermind so that you don't have to level up. When I joined the mastermind, I already had a 7-figure business. And I was like, ooh, this is good. Coach Kaz looked at me and was like, oh, so you just go hang out in the mastermind? You not go get in the collaborative? And without telling her, I was negotiating in my mind. Because I was like, if I hang out in the mastermind, the first major goal is to get to 7 figures. If I already have a 7-figure business, I can hang out in the mastermind, no pressure, right? Because I've already meet the goal. But I was like, if I get in the collaborative, everybody already got a 7-figure business. So now the goal is going to be raised. And I almost tried to negotiate with myself. And Coach Kaz was looking at me like, so what you going to do? What you going to do? Because I haven't seen you teach this identity thing to people. What you going to do, boy? In less than 24 hours, I sent the email in and say, y'all need to go ahead and upgrade me to the collaborative. I'll send in my financials so I can get where I needed to be. We do this at every single level. But if you don't recognize it, if you don't see it, you will find a way to maintain that cruise control. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes or yes? If you're picking up what I'm dropping, I need you to say, I'm getting this, I'm getting this, I'm getting this, I'm getting this, I'm getting this. Now here's the third thing. This is the third way that you create a shift in your identity. The third way that we create a shift in our identity. Number 1, we said awareness. Number 2 is associations. Number 3, you got to be willing to take action, but listen carefully. If you're looking to get to the next level, do you think you take action at the level of a 75? What level do you think? If you want to go from a 75 to a 100, what action level do you need? Excuse me? 100. But let's be honest. Is that going to feel comfortable? Absolutely not. If you're at a 75 right now, and wherever place you are in your business, for you to take action at the level of 100, it is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to require that you stretch yourself. But here's the crazy thing. When you start making the decision that you want to go from a 75 to a 100, how many of you realize that you would do everything that you can to be able to maintain your cruise control, including talking yourself out of it? Everybody get that? Yes or yes? Check this out. Mel Robbins wrote a book. It's called The 5-Second Rule. And here's what she had in the book. Basically, when you are going to make a decision that can create a shift and a change in your life, you got 5 seconds to take action. Because the moment you hit the 6th second, you will start to negotiate and you will start trying to talk yourself out of it. The higher version of you is going to say, yes, we can do it. Yes, this is what I need. Yes, I'm ready to grow and scale my business. Yes, I'm ready to take my marriage to the next level. Yes, I can do it. The lower version of yourself is going to remind you of what didn't work out in the future. The lower version of yourself is going to remind you of something that happened when you were 6, 7, 8 years old. The lower version of yourself is going to come up with all kind of sophisticated, great-sounding excuses to try to keep you at the 75. Does that make sense to everybody, yes or yes? So let's think about what some of those things are. What are some of the things that you think you say to yourself when it's time for you to go ahead and be able to get to your next level? Scream it out. What's some of the things we say? Next time, it's not the right time. How many of you have realized that when we're talking about opportunities, there's no better time than right now? You understand that, yes or yes? How many of you said, I'm just going to do that next month, I'm going to wait till next year, only to find yourself 3-4 years later and you still didn't take action? Yes or yes? What is something else that we say to ourselves when it's time to take action? I don't have enough money. Now, here's the crazy thing. Do me a favor. I want you to write down on a piece of paper somebody that's still alive that you love, that is near and dear to your heart. Write their name down right now on a piece of paper. They are alive and well, someone who means the world to you. Write them down on the paper. I don't see everybody right now. Write down their name. Write down their name. Write down. If they were in dire need, and you had 24 hours to come up with $100,000 in order to save their life, would you find a way to find the money? Would you find a way to find the money? Raise your hand up high in the air if you would find a way. Now, I'm not saying that you have the money. Do y'all understand the difference in that question? I'm not saying you have the money. My question is, would you find the money? Would you find out who you need to talk to? Would you get some funding if you needed to? Would you figure it out, yes or yes? You would figure it out. And another one that I heard was that, but what if I already took action on something else? Let me share something with y'all. I went into this suit store down on South Beach called Suit Supply. And I got me this pinstripe suit, blue pinstripe suit. Came home, I was like, ooh, this thing clean. They took my measurements. They got it all tapered up. And then as I was leaving, the manager said, hey, Mr. Enriquez, I want to let you know, we also have an online store in case, now that you know your size and you know what you like, in case you want to go ahead and order another suit. And so I get home and I go online and I see another great looking pinstripe suit. I'm like, ooh, this thing clean, blue. And so I order the other one online. I wait. Once I get the two suits, I lay them down and I take a picture and I post it on social media and I start telling everybody, hey, which one do you like better? Number one or number two? And the people are going back and forth on social media telling me which suit they like better. Not too long after, about 2 days, my mother-in-law gives me a call. And she goes, hey, Andy. She said, hey, I saw your social media post. By the way, my mother-in-law sees all my social media. She goes see this right now, right? She's like, hey, I saw your post. I said, yeah. She said, so what did you decide on the suits? Which one do you like? I said, actually, I like both. One of them got a bright blue, so during the daytime, it's going to be clean. One's a little darker, so I can wear it to like evening time. And then she said, well, why don't you just keep both? I never even thought about it. Because I had been so conditioned, as Lamar was saying before, when I was in the checkout line with my mom and I would grab 2 pieces of candy, my mom would say, no, NZ, you can only have, put the other one back. So what happens is we don't even realize we have the residue of a scarcity mindset from when we were children where we think we have to choose. The question is, do you see value in both? And if you see value in both, then why can't you have both? And what do you need to do to be able to get both? Does that make sense to everybody? Yes or yes? Give somebody a high five. Say, I hope you're getting this. 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 So we got to be willing to take the action at the level in which you expect results. Now, here's the thing I need you to understand. There is one more step to be able to create a shift and a change in your identity. Because you can't shift and change your identity based upon what you do every once in a while. The only way you're going to shift your identity is by taking the action, but not taking it once, but doing it over and over and over again. Say it with me. Doing it when? Over and over and over again. And so here's the thing. What do we call that? To create a true shift in your identity, you've got to be able to do this, is what we call anchor. You've got to anchor in the new identity. It's the reason why a 75 can get in close proximity to 100 and nothing changes. Do you know how many ultra wealthy people have an entourage of a bunch of broke people? Y'all understand that, right? Do you know how many uber successful people, like so many of you, have people who are close to you who yet and still, unfortunately, are not producing the result? And the reason why they're not producing the result is because they're not modeling what you're doing and making sure that they take the similar actions. Can I teach you an identity hack? Can I teach you an identity hack? Is that cool? Yes or yes? So I want to teach you a little identity hack. Here's the identity hack. When you are struggling to take on a new identity, I want to teach you this. It is an identity hack. When it's time for you to take action, there are going to be times that you want to talk yourself out of your goals and your dreams. You're going to talk yourself out of getting to that next level. And in those moments, your identity is sabotaging you. So in that moment, here's what you can do. You can borrow somebody else's identity until your identity kicks in. Let me explain to you. I am formerly an accountant, a CPA. I used to work with one of the big 4 public accounting firms. I am highly analytical. This past September, I purchased a new vehicle and asked my wife, Coach Kaz, I researched the vehicle for 4 years. 4 years. I am the guy that reads every single review. I'm the guy that analyzes everything. I'm the guy that would create an absolute spreadsheet so I could analyze between everything. And unfortunately, when it comes to business and when it comes to taking action, that is a self-sabotaging attribute. Does everybody get that? Yes or yes? Now, my wife, Coach Kaz, on the other hand, y'all trying to figure out why Coach Kaz had over 100% growth in her business in the past 2 years. Let me explain to you why. We out eating with a group of friends. We sitting at the table, it's about 12 of us, and then somebody says, oh my gosh, we should go to Thailand. And they're like, oh really? As soon as they say that, I get nervous. Because the first thing Coach Kaz says is, when do you think we should go to Thailand? And then the girl was like, I don't know. Maybe we should go to June of next year. And then Coach Kaz say, June what of next year? And then the girl says, I think we should go from like June 15th to like June 27th. All of a sudden, Coach Kaz get quiet. Everybody else at the table is still talking. Coach Kaz leans back, she on the cell phone, and I see her doing something. I know what she's doing. Nobody else knows what she's doing. What do y'all think Coach Kaz is doing? Coach Kaz booked the flight. She was like, here's my flight. Me and Andy can't wait for y'all to go. It's going to be so amazing. It's going to be great. Nobody went on the trip but me, Coach Kaz, my daughter Ava, and my mother-in-law. We were the only ones in Thailand because she is a quick start. So when I am deficient and I know I'm going to self-sabotage, I ask myself, what would Coach Kaz do in this moment? Coach Kaz would take action. Coach Kaz wouldn't be hesitating. I'll still be talking about it, and Coach Kaz would be running to the back of the room so she could go ahead and secure her spot. That's what Coach Kaz would be doing. I'm at a conference with Coach Kaz. They're making the offer. The dude didn't even put the price. Coach Kaz is getting her credit card, and she going to the back of the room. I'm like, Coach, where you going? She's like, I'm signing up. I said, Coach, you didn't say the price. She said, I don't care. I see the value. That's how you get 100% growth in your business in 2 years. And you can't do it once in a while. You always got to anchor in the new belief. Look at your neighbor and say, I hope you're getting this. I hope you're getting this. I hope you're getting this. My question for you is this. How many of you are committed to going from a 75 to a 100? Raise your hands. If you're committed to going from a 75 to a 100, wherever you are right now, if you're under 6 figures, if you are at multiple 6 figures, if you're at 7 figures, if you're at 8 figures, how many of you guys understand that you have the ability to go to the next level? Raise your hands up high, raise your hands up high. And so here's the first thing I want to do right now. I want you all to take what I like to refer to as the identity shift quiz. It's going to see how you do in all 4 of these areas. They're going to go ahead and put up the QR code for me on the screens. But in the identity shift quiz, you're going to get 5 questions in each of these areas. 5 questions in each of these areas. It's going to ask you 5 questions about the awareness, 5 questions about association, 5 questions about action, 5 questions about you anchoring the belief. You're going to do that right now. Put in your email address, put in your phone number, and then you're going to get the quiz in about 30 minutes via text and also in your email. And I want you to take the quiz so that you can become aware of what you're doing that's keeping you from getting to that 100. Is everybody cool with that? Yes or yes? When you get your results, please let me know. You're not going to take the quiz right now. Right now, you're just making sure that the quiz gets taken to you. Everybody got me on that? Yes or yes? If you already got the quiz, say, I got it, I got it, I got it. All right? So everybody in here, I want you to take the quiz so that you can see exactly where you're at. Now, we had a conversation just a little bit earlier. And one of the things I asked you was this. I asked you your permission. I asked you if you were going to participate 100%. Have you been participating, yes or yes? The second thing I told you was that I may have to step on your toes. Have I stepped on your toes with love, with love, with love, yes or yes? Number 3, I said that all of your excuses were going to have to go away. You now know the blueprint to be able to create a shift and a change in your identity. And so we're going to do a pop quiz right now. When you want to be able to create a shift in your identity, number 1 is what? Awareness. TSP. Game plan. You are now aware. The only person that's keeping you from your next level is you. The only person that can keep you from getting to that 100 is you. Number 2 is what? Associations. Do not allow yourself to come to a conference like this. And here's what I hate to tell you. The conference ends today. And when you leave, if you don't commit now to changing your associations, you're going to go back to being with the same group of people with the same level of thinking that don't have the ability to be able to help you to get to the next level. How many of you are committed that before you leave here today, before you leave this room, that you are going to commit to doing what you got to do to change your associations? Everybody got me on that? Raise your hands up high if you're committed to doing that. Can I share something with you? 100s don't hang out in free rooms. That's the reason why you've run into so many amazing people, because it costs you something to be here. Lamar told you Marshawn Evans was being interviewed by my man Brunson, and here's one of the questions, and one of the things they said is, listen carefully. She said, sometimes you have to buy a mentor. You have to buy your way into the room. Because the people who are operating at a higher level, they are not hanging out in the free rooms. You understand that, yes or yes? The next thing is you got to be willing to take action at the level in which you expect results. But here's the thing I want you to realize. When it's time for you to take action, you are going to try to talk yourself out of it. I need you to tell 75 to be quiet. Everybody do me a favor. Look over to your left. Look to your left and say 75, not to the person to your left. Don't look at them. They'll be like, I ain't no 75. You're not going to look at me. You're not going to talk to me any old kind of way, okay? I'm here too. I signed up for the mastermind. Don't you call me no 75. Just look up high to the sky. Say, hey, no, look down. 75s don't be high. Look down. Say, 75? We can't hang out no more. It's not you. It's me. All right? Now I need you to look to the right. Say 100. I'm coming. 100. I'm here. But understand, when you say that, it's going to require that you take action. And you will try to talk yourself out of it. When I was a teenager, I used to go up to California and go see my cousin. And her husband was starting to play a whole lot of tennis. And I would go with him to play tennis. And he was so much better than me. He would serve the ball over, boom, and I'd run over, try to hit the ball, and and I'd miss the ball. He'd hit it over again, boom, and I'd run over to the side, try to hit the ball, and I'd miss the ball. I was like, man, this is crazy. Finally, I got frustrated. I was like, man, I'm done. I'm leaving. It's not for me. Every ball that was on my side of the court represented failure to me. And as I was walking off the court, he said, come here. I want you to stand right here. Come here. I said, no, man, I'm done. He said, no, come here. I said, I'm done. He said, here's what I want you to do. He said, I want you to walk over on your side of the court, and each one of the balls, I want you to pick it up and boom, hit it back. And he said, I want you to do that every single ball. I want you to pick it up and boom, hit it back. I said, I'm not doing it. He said, pick up the balls and boom, hit it back. And so at first I'm mad and I pick up the ball and boom, hit it back. I pick up the other ball and I boom, hit it back. That day I learned an important lesson. Just because you have a limiting thought doesn't mean that you have to hold on to the thought. You can deny the thoughts that come into your head that's trying to talk you out of your goals and your dreams, and you can boom, hit it back. TSP, I want you to stand on your feet right now. I'm going to share some things with you, some things that the 75 version is saying to you that's keeping you from going to your next level. And when I share those things, I need you to, everybody do it with me, boom, hit it back. You go sign up for another one of those things, everybody do it with me, boom, hit it back. What about that one time when that thing didn't work out for you? Boom, hit it back. Like, seriously, people like you don't end up getting 7-figure and 8-figure businesses. Boom, hit it back. You don't want to stay here at 75? I think you look so much better as a 75. Everybody do it with me? Boom, hit it back. TSP, listen to me. Don't allow yourself to talk yourself out of your dreams. As much as you have chosen to be here, you were chosen to be here. There's something inside of you that is ready to go. You will try to talk yourself out of getting to your next level. And I implore you that you do not leave this room without creating a shift in your change in your identity. Don't allow the 75 to talk you out of your next level. I did it for years. The 75 thinks it's keeping you safe. 75 is keeping you from your destiny. If you're 100, raise your hand. I need you to look around at the room and say, I see you. Hold each other accountable. Everybody raise your hands up high. Say, I'm a 100. TSP, I love you. My name's Enriquez, and I will see you where the hundreds hang out.